has in fact passed away. But then again, this is IANS bringing us this very news. This is the report that's coming in from IANS. We are still awaiting for an official confirmation from the family about this very news. But yes, these are reports from IANS that the legendary actor has passed away at the age of 89 after battling prolonged illness. We are reflecting on the life of the true legend and veteran actor Dharmendra, lovingly known as the He-Man of Indian cinema, a career that spanned more than 6 decades. He gave us memorable performances in several movies, some of them being Sholay, Phool Aur Patthar, Yadon Ki Barat, just off the top of the head at this given point. He was far more than just a beloved star. He was a cultural icon, a charismatic and fearless icon as defined by his generation and generations after that. And yet beyond that, at this given point, the warmth of his presence, the charm of his smile, that is what we all in fact recall at this given point as we are learning of this tragic news. Again, this is IANS report that we are reiterating again and again of the legendary actor having passed away at the age of 89. We're still awaiting a formal confirmation from the family. He was in fact battling illness for the longest time, and he was even hospitalized till early weeks of November, and then he had again been brought home after that. His family members had come out to say that he had been recovering, but at this given point, this is the news that we are bringing to you, again coming in from IANS, that actor, the veteran, the legendary actor Dharmendra has passed away. As we remember him today, our thoughts are with his family, his devoted fans, and all who were touched by his extraordinary journey. To his physical presence, he will deeply be missed. His legacy will, of course, continue to shine brightly on the silver screen and will remain with us forever. But for now, these are the details we are getting. It's a tragedy. It's a big loss, an unimaginable loss for Bollywood, for the country. As per reports that's coming in from the IANS, legendary actor Dharmendra ji having passed away. And I'm being joined by Marish Shakil on this very piece of information that we're picking up from the IANS. Maria,
News agency IANS is now reporting that legendary actor and superstar Dharmendra has passed away. This is coming in from the news agency IANS, which is saying just a few minutes ago that Dharmendra has passed away. Remember, he was born as Dharm Singh Deol in 1935 in Punjab, was a towering figure in Indian cinema. His journey began from a small village in Punjab, and then he went on to become Bollywood's most celebrated actor, perhaps one of the most celebrated actors and stars who continued to inspire cinema for decades. Visuals are coming in of Isha Deol, his wife Hema Malini, who's also a member of parliament. All of them arrive at his home. This is coming in from IANS, which is a news agency which is now reporting that legendary actor, known for his charm, strength and humility, a rare combination that truly made him a legend, Dharmendra has passed away. Dharmendra's love for cinema and of course his career spreading over 6 decades. That's how long his career has been. Sana Farzeen is joining me on the phone line. Sana, as we wait for the family to issue a statement, this is coming in from a news agency which is now saying that Dharmendra has passed away.
Absolutely, Maria rightly mentioned. The news agencies have covered, and we can see that the family can be spotted at the cremation ground, the Pawan Hans cremation ground in Mumbai, Andheri. And we are still waiting for the family statement on this. But however, agencies have confirmed that Dharmendra, who's one of the most celebrated actors in Indian cinema, and he has passed away. And he had a career spanning 65 years, and he's worked over 300 films and actually holds the record for starring in the highest number of hit films in Hindi cinema. And he's been a celebrated actor. He's left behind a legacy of stars, Sunny Deol and Bobby Deol. His two sons have been such popular stars in the 90s and 2000, and he has two daughters, Isha Deol and Hana Deol, and of course his wife Hema Malini. We all have followed the Deol family's career, and his grandsons have also. One of the grandson has made his debut, and reportedly the other grandsons are also set to make a debut soon. They are one of the most loved families in Indian cinema, and right now we can see at the cremation ground, Amir Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, and Abhishek Bachchan have arrived to pay their last respect. As of now, however, no family statement has been issued. There's no official confirmation on it. But from what we are witnessing right now, and as per agency reports, the actor passed away. He was 89 and he's had a full-fledged career in Indian cinema. He's been one of the most loved stars, and absolutely this leaves behind a very indelible mark in the Indian cinema. And as of now, we're just waiting for the family statement. From what we are hearing and witnessing right now, celebrities and his families have gathered at Pawan Hans, and there's a huge crowd outside his home in Juhu. There is no official statement, as I have been saying, but however, agencies and families being at the cremation ground have been hinting at his demise. And Dharmendra has, of course, been absolutely, he made his debut in 1960 and he's had more than 60 years of career. His last film, which is said to be his last film, Ikkis, is set to release in December 25th. It stars Amitabh Bachchan's grandson Agastya Nanda. It's an army film, and today in the morning, the first visual of Dharmendra was released by the production house Maddox Films. So there's a lot of anticipation around his film, and Dharmendra, as we all know, has been loved throughout the country and of course everyone else. We are just waiting as of now for his family statement.
Dharmendra acted in over 250 films, and that covered multiple genres from action to romance to comedy. He was known as the He-Man of Bollywood. He would have celebrated his 90th birthday on 8th of December. But 2 weeks before his 90th birthday, Dharmendra has passed away. That is what IANS, the news agency, is saying. Dharmendra worked with legendary directors like Hrishikesh Mukherjee, Ramesh Sippy, Manmohan Desai, and shared screens with icons, the biggest superstars of Indian cinema like Amitabh Bachchan, Rajesh Khanna. His iconic films include Sholay, in which he played the role of Veeru, which of course was one of the most loved characters of Indian cinema. Chupke Chupke, another very famous film of Dharmendra of 1975. Phool Aur Patthar in 1966, which perhaps catapulted him to stardom. We are being joined by one of our reporters again, in fact, Tushar Joshi is joining us. Tushar, the family is yet to issue a statement, but IANS is saying that Dharmendra is no more.
Yes, absolutely. It's devastating news for fans and obviously members from the family. We are waiting to hear from the family as they issue a statement. We are getting visuals of Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan, a lot of celebrities, big names like Shah Rukh, Salman, Amir, Madhuri Dixit, a lot of actresses from the past who have worked with him, and those who also know him and revere him have also met him in the recent past when he was hospitalized. It is absolutely tragic because, like Sana mentioned, today morning we woke up with first visuals of Dharamji from an upcoming film called Ikkis. Sholay's re-release is also upcoming in the next few weeks. It's getting a digital makeover. So it's devastating because I know for a fact that his fans were waiting to celebrate his birthday on December 8th. He was reaching a landmark year, celebrating his 90th birthday. Also, with Sholay re-releasing, there was a lot of fanfare. In general, the love that people have for him was being...
Recent appearance was last year, I believe, where he played the role of Shahid Kapoor's grandfather in Teri Baaton Mein Aisa Uljha Diya. That I remember clearly, you know, that was the last appearance. And of course, everybody was looking forward to this release of his film.
Yes, okay. And also he was a working actor. he was very keen on taking on films. He was also in talks with producers. A lot of times, when producers would line up or would call him, he was very keen on knowing what is it that they want to offer. So, despite his age and despite the fact that he was constantly battling issues with his health, if you go to his Instagram, he would constantly keep updating his fans and telling them how he was doing, what he was doing. Rocky Rani Ki Prem Kahani again was a film where he was really appreciated. So he was a working actor. He till his last breath was
Tributes are
working.
pouring in. Karan Johar, himself a celebrated filmmaker, has said on his Instagram that this is an end of an era, a massive mega star, the embodiment of a hero in a mainstream cinema, incredibly handsome and the most enigmatic screen presence. He is and will always be a bona fide legend of Indian cinema, defining and richly present in the pages of cinema. But mostly, he was the best human being. He was so loved by everyone in our industry. He only had immense love and positivity for everyone. His blessings, his hug, and his incredible warmth will be missed more than words can describe. Today, there is a gaping hole in our industry, a space that can never be filled by anyone. There will always be the one and only Dharamji. We love you, kind sir. We will miss you so much. The heavens are blessed today. That is the tribute coming in from Karan Johar. Several actors, producers, directors now putting out their condolences and sharing their memories of Dharamji. Go ahead, Tushar. We have been talking about his last appearance as the grandfather of Shahid Kapoor. That was in a film only last year, and perhaps this 21, which was supposed to be released in December, to be specific, 25th of December, that may be put on hold now.
Yes, definitely. Like Karan has mentioned in his tweet, and Karan being a producer who has worked with Dharamji, there is this sense of loss. There is this gaping hole that can definitely not be filled. He was a working actor, even despite his age and despite his constant battles with physical ailments. He was undergoing physiotherapy. He had this bungalow in Lonavala, which he used to retreat to, always surrounded by his sons, his grandsons, his family, always had a hearty smile on his face. He was very keen on making sure that social media, his Instagram page especially, was a space for him to reach out to his fans. What happens to 21 will now be need to be seen, because there were plans to also unveil his character, perhaps get a video shot by him. And now I'm guessing that there will be an homage of some sort, not just paid by the makers of 21, but there will be an homage paid by anyone and everyone who has worked with Dharamji and whose lives have been touched by him.
And last year was 50 years of Sholay. There was massive celebration which was organized by Ramesh Sippy himself, in which we were celebrating Jai Veeru ki Jodi. Veeru remains the most loved characters of Indian cinema, and that's why the crowd, his fans, have started gathering outside Dharmendra's official home in Mumbai. There is the fans and also film industry people have all started gathering at his official residence and also at the crematorium. This is news coming in from IANS. The film fraternity is all standing with his family, and so is the entire nation. As we look at these visuals, remember he had also won Padma Bhushan in 2012. One of the most celebrated actors of all times, I would say. Padma Bhushan in 2012, India's third highest civilian award, Tushar. Multiple Filmfare Awards and nominations throughout his life. That's how celebrated he was. Extremely humble. Whosoever had any interaction with Dharmendra would remember how cordial, how loving he was whenever he met them.
He was always full of warmth. I've had the chance and the honor and the esteemed honor of being in his company, of chatting up with him in the near past. And I can tell you from my personal experience that he always brought a smile on your face. Whatever he might be going through, maybe he was having a tough time that day, he would always light up the room with that smile. He would always check on you. And the minute he made that eye contact with you, you were sort of transported into a different world. Let's not forget that he also was one of the most good-looking actors of our time. And I can tell that Salman Khan, especially, Salman has a very personal connect with him. He almost considered him like his own father. And Dharamji was very, very close to Salman right till his last moments. And when he was hospitalized, I know that Salman was constantly checking on him, speaking to Sunny, Bobby, all of his family, and making sure that Dharamji was doing all right. So it is not just accolades and awards, but it's the hearts that he has won, the space that he has made in our hearts and people all over the world. I think that's the space that everybody feels there's this huge void. And with Sholay, Sholay's re-release, the digital remastering
Yes.
re-release upcoming, I'm guessing there will also be sort of a commemorative sort of a piece for Dharamji and some sort of an honor definitely being paid to him.
Only last year I interviewed Ramesh Sippy, and he was telling me about how this character Viru was created and how the dynamics or the chemistry between Jai Viru actually played out. I mean, his contribution to Indian cinema will be perhaps immeasurable. That's the way I will describe Dharmendra's contribution. He entertained millions, but also touched hearts of millions. That's how close many would feel today. And extremely inspiring. That was the poster, perhaps, that was released by the team 21. Only this morning this happened, and here comes the news of Dharmendra having passed away. He has left behind a treasure trove of unforgettable performances. His legacy is not just his films, but in the values he embodied. Certainly there was great degree of simplicity in his persona. Deep love for the craft, Tushar. Extreme love for the craft, someone who valued cinema, the filmmaking, the art form.
Yes, and he never said no to a challenge. If you look at his body of work over the years, right, we know him as this tough action hero who does action, and he did it he so beautifully in the 80s and all. But he had such a soft side to him. I mean, if you look at the films that he romanced his heroines in, and if you speak to Asha Parekh or Wahida Rehman or all of these legendary actresses, or Hema ji for that matter, they all have anecdotes of how Dharamji made them feel so special on screen. They have also delivered their biggest hits with Dharamji. So Dharamji was not only a bankable actor in the action genre, but he also played the romantic genre to the hilt. And he had so many ladies from the 80s and 70s and 90s, of course, that he romanced. And he also paved the way for actors, of another generation and taught them what it is for a tough guy to play a lover. It's not something that anybody and everybody could do. And like I said, he always had that smile on his face. He always had that effervescence about him. And he always checked on you whenever you met him and asked you, how are you doing? I think that's the lasting memory of Dharamji that I have for me.
Tushar, the visuals are coming in of Amitabh Bachchan and all the co-actors actually with arriving at the home of Dharamji. You were talking about Aankhein, the Phool Aur Patthar, Mera Gaon, Mera Desh. These are some of the most iconic films that Dharmendra will be remembered for. 21, that is the poster which was released only today. And Sana Farzeen is joining us as well. Sana, this morning the poster of 21 is released. And now the filmmakers will have to put this on hold as news comes in that Dharamji is no more.
Maria, of course, the poster of a case featuring Dharmendra released today morning, and as of now, there is no update if the film would be pushed because it has already shot. Of course, they were all looking forward to seeing Dharmendra ji perform in this. It's said to be a iconic character. I mean, it's based on patriotism and army, and Dharmendra ji was reportedly said to be very excited of playing this part, and I think it would be a great honor for the family and of course his fans to watch him play this character on screen. As of now, we are standing outside his house in Juhu. There is absolutely a deafening silence right here because as from what the visuals that we've saw, the family is at the cremation ground in Juhu. However, we are yet to receive any official statement from the family. We are all awaiting for the family to issue a statement. Of course, there's a security here. The Dharmendra ji's personal security, and of course, the Mumbai police is right here, standing outside his house in Juhu. However, we are all waiting for the family to issue a statement. However, Hema Malini, Isha Deol, they were all spotted at the cremation ground in Juhu, and Bollywood stars Amir Khan, Amitabh Bachchan and Abhishek Bachchan also visited the cremation ground. As we were all
Okay, actor Raj Babbar, other members of the film family, film fraternity who have worked with Dharmji have all started arriving at his home. Actor Amitabh Bachchan, his son Abhishek Bachchan are present at the crematorium. In fact, Raj Babbar is joining me now on the phone line. Raj Babbar ji, we are seeing those images now of the family members now at the crematorium. What are your memories of Dharmji?
It's a very sad thing because since so many days he was not well. We were just praying. बीच में परिवार से मेरी बात भी हुई, लेकिन सब बस दुआ कर रहे थे. For me, I can say this: that I have started my career with the blessing of Dharmji. The first time I met some big star and such a humble person, he was with Dharmji, and all the time he helped me, and later on I have become there like a family member. I worked so many films with Dharmji and also Sunny, Bobby, and recently Dharmji has done a play for my daughter. He has done a scene.
तो उस वक्त बहुत crowd had come, and he managed to take me out of there, I mean, because we didn't have that kind of protection. But when you were shooting with Dharam, you knew that you were safe. It was just a wonderful. I'm so sad that he's gone.
क्योंकि जितनी भी महिला अभिनेत्रियों से अगर बात कीजिए तो वो हमेशा ये कहती हैं कि धर्म जी के साथ वो बहुत सेफ महसूस करती थी, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ अपनी सिक्योरिटी का ख्याल नहीं रखते थे, जो भी उनके साथ हैं वो उनकी सिक्योरिटी का भी ख्याल रखते थे. जैसा आप
बहुत ही शरीफ और बहुत ही केयरिंग पर्सन. एंड
आपकी पहली मुलाकात मैम कब हुई धर्मेंद्र जी से?
आई थिंक व्हेन आई वाज शूटिंग फॉर अनुपमा के वक्त.
वो एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा? वो मुलाकात हुई तो वो क्या दिखा रहे थे कि मैं धर्मेंद्र हूँ, या बहुत ही साधारण व्यक्ति के तौर पर वो आपसे मिले?
नहीं, साधारण तो थे वो. He didn't put on act. कभी भी ऐसे नहीं लगा कि वो स्टार के जैसे बिहेव कर रहे हैं, कभी भी नहीं. वो that smile, that frank, जो भी दिल में है वो कह देना, एक बहुत अच्छे आदमी थे, बहुत अच्छे. कैसे he looked after his family, his friends. Very generous person, very generous person.
शर्मिला जी, क्योंकि कई बार ऐसा हो जाता है जी, ऐसे मौके पर शब्द नहीं हो पाते बोलने के लिए.
ऐसे लोग मिलना मुश्किल है कि इतने लोगों की हेल्प करना, और सिर्फ आज तो सब अपने के लिए सोचते हैं ना, अपना सोचते हैं. धर्म जी ऐसे नहीं थे. हम जब अमेरिका गए, वहाँ पे भी एरिज़ोना में, वहाँ पे भी लोग तारीफ करते थे उनका. अब सोचिए, हर जगह उनका, कहीं भी जहाँ पे भी वो गए लोग उनको याद रखेंगे.
अभी आप आखिरी बार कब उनसे मुलाकात हुई मैम आपकी?
बहुत देर से मुलाकात नहीं हुई, क्योंकि मगर मैं टेलीफोन पे खबर करती थी रेगुलरली, जो कैसे हैं, हॉस्पिटल थे, जब घर आए वेंटिलेटर थे, सब कुछ. तो मैं सुना कि क्रिटिकल हैं, मगर उनसे मैं उम्मीद कर रही थी that he will live till his birthday, 8 दिसंबर तक रहेंगे, मगर उससे पहले ही चले गए.
शर्मिला जी, हाल फिलहाल, क्योंकि जब भी आप उनको सुनिए,
10 years, मेरे 10 साल बड़े हैं वो
जी.
He would have been 91 and I would have been 81. 10 साल बड़े हैं.
मैम, जब भी उनको सुनिए, हाल फिलहाल अगर आपने भी सुना हो, क्योंकि वो जो अपने दर्शकों को, अपने चाहने वालों को जो संदेश देते थे, उन्होंने हमेशा ये संदेश दिया कि जिंदगी पूरी तरीके से जियो. और वो जब हमेशा उनका एक जो कहते हैं ना, उनका ध्येय यही था कि सबको.
अनुपमा, सत्यकाम, चुपके चुपके, all films were very good, all with Dharam.
आपने कोई ऐसे परिवर्तन महसूस किया पहली फिल्म से दूसरी फिल्म के सफर में, दूसरे से तीसरे के सफर में?
धर्म में?
जी
नहीं नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। हमने एक और फिल्म किया, एक महल हो सपनों का, इसमें भी आई मीन मेरे हमदम मेरे दोस्त, नहीं, नो चेंज, नो चेंज।
अच्छा, सेट पे वो कैसे रहते थे, मतलब उनका जो स्वभाव था?
सेट पे वाज क्वाइट, ही वाज नॉट वेरी टॉकेटिव, बट ही वाज देयर। कभी कभी लेट आते थे, मगर नॉट लाइक अदर एक्टर्स। ही वाज वेरी कोऑपरेटिव, बहुत। आई मीन आई हैव डन सो मेनी फिल्म्स, 7 films, and all good actors. I mean, all good roles. So, good films. So I'm very happy that we had that time together.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, आप हमसे जुड़े और आपने इस लम्हे में एक तरीके से उनको याद किया, क्योंकि आज हर कोई
Right. So, actor Dharmendra, no more. Someone who has acted in multiple films with Dharmendra ji was speaking to us, Sharmila Tagore, sharing her views of Chupke Chupke, one of the most iconic, classic, I would say, classic comedy, showcasing how sometime today. His portrayal of multiple characters, Viru in Sholay, 50 years of Sholay as is being celebrated this year. I remember meeting Ramesh Sippy and the iconic producer director, and he had so many stories to share about the chemistry which played out between Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, and also Dharmji in that film. Deol and Bobby Deol and daughters Ahana and Isha. Some of them are continuing his cinematic legacy as well. Sana Farzeen is joining us. Sana, members of the film fraternity at the crematorium, as cremation is likely to take place sometime from now, but no official statement being issued by the family so far. Why is the family being, of course, this is a moment of grief for them, so they will be deciding their time when to speak about it to the media.
Absolutely, Maria, and the Deol family have for long been known to be very private people. They have always seen away from the glitz and glamour of the industry. They've always believed that they are a typical Punjabi family who want to spend their time together amid their closed one. And this was actually expected, that when something like this happens, they would not be wanting extra attention or strangers just surrounding them. This is a private moment. This is a very, very emotional moment for them, and they would want to bid away their father in a very private and personal space. The Deol family, even during celebrations, be it their marriages, I mean the weddings that Sunny Deol's son had, it was all a very private ceremony. They've always been very personal people, and they've always believed in being close-knit and being together. And this was the reason
in
that
fact, has had several meetings with Dharmji. Rajdeep, it's a moment of great grief for the entire nation. We have lost a legend, someone who made immense contribution, but will also be remembered as an extremely sensitive, down-to-earth and humble human being.
Oh, absolutely. All that and much more. According to me, arguably one of the most durable stars that the Hindi film industry has ever seen. If you think about it, his first film, 1960. His last film, where he was a character actor, or last film that did very well, was in 2023. So over 63 years, Dharmendra played various roles. And there were certain years like 1973 when he had 6-7 big hits in a row. Yado Ki Bara, Jugnu, Dost, the hits kept coming. So he was an actor who was a star first, who was able to, through his own sheer hard work, change with the changing times. If you look at his films in the 1960s, he was a vulnerable romantic hero. Then comes Phool Aur Patthar, where you see the first signs of this He-Man image that he developed. By the early 1970s, even though the likes of Rajesh Khanna and Amitabh Bachchan were becoming superstars, Dharmendra was the reliable hero who delivered hit after hit. And by the when he did
Rajdeep,
Sholay,
stay with us. We have actor Asha Parekh now joining us on the phone line. Okay, please go ahead, Rajdeep. That line got disconnected. Sorry.
If you look at the latter half of the 1970s, he was happy to share the screen space with an Amitabh Bachchan in a series of hits. The big one, of course, Sholay, but other films like Ram Balram came the 80s, and he evolved himself into a more comic artist in certain films. He'd, of course, done comedy so successfully in films like Chupke Chupke. Came the 90s, and perhaps slowly, while he was fading away, you suddenly saw him re-emerge as a character actor. 2023, Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani. To think about it, that over 6 decades you remain relevant. He would in the 90s he did a lot of B grade films which were more successful in the smaller towns, but they were mega hits. Dharmendra wore his stardom very lightly. He had he was a romantic hero who had a certain vulnerability, and he could be the physical He-Man. His famous dialogues, kutte, तो तेरा खून पी जाऊंगा. That was enough to get the audience applauding in the stalls. And he could do films like Satyakam and Anupama, which would have those in the dress circle also feel, wow, this is the kind of film you should do. He had done films like Bandini with Bimal Roy, and he did films with Rishikesh Mukherjee, like Chupke Chupke. But he could also do the action thrillers and a B-grade movie with some Punjabi director in the 1990s. Dharamji, in that sense, was someone who wanted
Okay,
to
Asha
always
Parekh is with us. Rajdeep, stay with us. Asha ji, you and Dharmendra ji have acted in multiple films together. Aay Din Bahar Ke was among those. Shikhar, Aan Milo Sajna. Today, which film you remember the most when you remember about Dharmendra ji?
Dharmendra ji's first film which I acted with him was Aay Din Bahar Ke.
Ji.
And at that time, I didn't know him so well. But slowly, after doing so many films with him, I found him to be a very fine person, a real thorough gentleman, a real human being, who looked towards humanity. And I found him to be that old village boy whom I had first seen at the Filmfare function. It's a very sad day that he has gone away today.
When was the last time you spoke to Dharmendra ji, Asha ji?
We did a reality show together, and it was, all the memories came back, and we were talking about it, and in between shots, he was discussing things. He said he was staying at the farm and all that. So it was nice meeting him after such a long time.
And in 1970 came one of the most romantic films which had Dharmendra ji and you, which was Aan Milo Sajna, which of course, made your on-screen chemistry become the talk of the town. What was...
Making a mistake. Aan Milo Sajna was not Dharmendra ji. Mera Gaon, Mera Desh was a very super-duper hit, in which Dharmendra ji was there.
Ji. And Asha ji, Asha ji, when you look at your cinematic journey with Dharmendra ji, what were the moments like? Any interesting anecdote of the conversations that you have had with him?
It was nice working with him. As such anecdotes, we used to have lots of crowds coming for the shooting, and how he used to help us to get out of that crowd, He was a very helpful person. So that's how he was. A very fine person.
Asha Parekh ji, I remember interviewing you a few years ago when you won the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. What was it so special about the stars of that era? You acted with that entire...
Sure, about everybody had their own style. Everybody was different when they used to perform. So it was something different. And those times our heroes were real, what would I say, real heroes. They used to look after their heroines very well.
So I fair award that when I go up to heaven, I'm going to ask why did God not make me as handsome as Dharmendra? कुछ looks में उनकी कुछ खासियत थी. He could woo people with his romantic vulnerability as well as with his muscular image, isn't it?
muscular image ke hote hue bhi, his face was very innocent. There was innocence on his face.
That's
though
right.
he was a very handsome man.
So he could be both a romantic hero as well as play the action hero. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Ma'am, you did a number of, I think Mera Gaon, Mera Desh is one of the iconic films which was made in that period. But, you were part of that era. Do you sometimes miss that era? Would you have any word of advice for the younger actors when they today think about Dharamji?
Yes,
What could you
they have
learn
to
from
learn
him?
a
What
lot
should
from
they learn from
Dharamji.
him?
His humanity, his innocence, his being dedicated to his art. He loved to face the camera. So that is what should be done by the actors of today.
Right.
His dedication to his work.
Right. Asha ji,
That speaks a lot.
you've also been dedicated to your craft for many years. Thank you so much for joining us. It was quite an era, Maria Shakil, way before you were born, the 1960s. Some of us were born in 1965, but it was another era where a lot of these actors were actors with feet to the ground. They were stars, but you could actually communicate with them. You don't have to go through media managers. You could actually pick up the phone and ring up a Dilip Kumar. You could ring up a Dharamji. You could ring
Rajdeep,
up
when did
Shami
you
Kapoor.
last speak to Dharmji?
I spoke last to Dharamji. Maria, we did an interview with Dharmendra when Lata Mangeshkar passed away in 2023. We had him at a special function that we had done to remember Lata ji. And Dharmendra was full of warmth for Lata Mangeshkar. And that was the last time I remember meeting him. But my memories of Dharamji, very interestingly, Maria, also of Central Hall of Parliament. He had
He was a
just been
member of parliament,
elected to
yes.
as MP from Bikaner in the 15th Lok Sabha. And he would quietly sit in a corner having his cup of chai, and we would go there and ask him stories about Sholay. And he almost was embarrassed to talk about his film career. And he certainly was not very happy doing politics. He said, "Ye mere liye ye politics nahi hai." That was the only term he did. He said, "आप हेमा जी से politics के बारे में पूछिए, हम दूसरी बातों पर बात करेंगे."
But
So
Rajdeep, he hosted a lot of people at his farmhouse. In fact, he would post visuals and reels of his farmhouse regularly on Instagram. That's how he connected with the new generation as well.
That's right. You see, that was his charm. As I said, one of Dharmendra's greatest attributes was how he remained relevant across generations. In the 60s, he was obviously emerging as a top star. In the 70s, he went up to number one. There's a small period between Rajesh Khanna and Amitabh Bachchan. 73 is the year when Dharmendra had one hit after the other, 7 hits in a row, many of them with Hema Malini, and he was undoubtedly Bollywood star number one. Then Amitabh Bachchan takes over, but Dharamji remains relevant, acts in blockbusters like Sholay, Ram Balram. You can name a series of other films. Loafer did extremely well even in that generation. 80s was a bit of a downer. By the 90s, Dharmendra had recrafted himself, acting in some of these action films that were perhaps not seen in the big theaters, but were a huge draw in the small theaters. Came from a small town like Phagwara. And I think that's the real charm, Maria, of Dharmendra. He was not a Nepo kid. He had come in because he had won a Filmfare talent hunt contest, and he made his way to the top through sheer grit. And you could sense when someone has come the hard way, they always retain their feet on the ground. So the humility, that humbleness of someone who had come from the small town was always there in the way Dharmendra spoke to you. It was almost, he enjoyed the stardom, but at the same time was embarrassed by it. That you didn't have to fawn over him. He knew that he was a star, and he remained a star till the very end. And that's why perhaps he chose Instagram as a medium for connecting with the younger generation. He didn't want bhuliyega mat. He didn't want people to forget what Dharmendra was. And for my generation, I will always remember going first day, first show to see Yado Ki Barat. And, that's the famous song where multi-starrer Zina Taman singing Chura Liya Hai.
Tumne jo dil ko.
So that song was making waves. But Dharamji in the end, as the big brother, is the one who really made the waves. And just that by then, of course, he was the complete action hero. But to produce film after film, imagine 7, 9, 11 hits in a particular year. I mean, that's unheard of. Today's stars do 1 or 2 films in a year. Dharamji was moving from one set to the other, doing 7, 8 films at the same time. So it was a different era. And certainly for my generation, Dharmendra will always remain an
Your
iconic
favorite
figure.
song? Your favorite song as you reflect on his versatility, romance, drama, comedy, any genre, Rajdeep, your favorite song?
अरे बहुत difficult है. But there are songs from the 60s that are more melancholy. But anyone will sing ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे. That is the Dharamji and Amitabh together. And what a and interesting. I remember Mumbai's hoardings of Sholay. You had all these stars, multi-star, but at the center was Dharmendra. Even Amitabh Bachchan was on the side. Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, Jaya Bachchan, Amjad Khan. Center was Dharmendra. Because when Sholay was released, Dharamji was still right at the very top of his game. And I don't think he ever was insecure enough to say ki I won't play a co-star with Amitabh Bachchan, or you don't give me. Everyone who once talks to, and I'm sure you'll speak to directors like Ramesh Sippy, Dharmendra was very happy being in the shadows as long as of a big star, as long as picture hit ho jaye. He liked the idea of being part of hit films, and he produced many hits. He was the most bankable, dependable star. Think about it. In his generation were the likes of Manoj Kumar, Shami Kapoor, of course, had already established himself, but many of them faded away by the 70s. Dharmendra grew from strength
Okay.
to strength. Therefore, I
Rajdeep,
say
stay
he is
with us. We have
possibly.
Moshmi Chatterjee now joining us. She and Dharamji have co-starred in several films as well. Moshmi ji, this is a very tragic moment for the entire country. Your thoughts on today as news is coming in that actor Dharmendra is no more?
I don't know what to say. It's a vacuum will never, will fill up by anyone. And Dharamji is by nature was very childlike, and especially he had a great sense of humor. And I don't know, जब लोग जीते हैं तब उनके लिए 2 शब्द लोग बोलते नहीं यार आप लोग भी आगे नहीं आते अब. But I'm sure he must be listening. It's a great sorrow for the family and the children. And I feel that the industry really lost someone who was like a God-gifted. And he really struggled to live. And he helped many people to live. He was very, very protective towards me. Like a family man, all that time. And I seen him when I was did not enter in film line because of my father-in-law, Hemant Kumar. They were close, So, and he had come, and he loves his family because Sunny Deol ke liye, he literally, because I don't know in the beginning of Ghayal picture, but he came home and he told my husband कि बाबू tell ना कुड़िया को बोल दे कर दे हाँ बोल दे. So I remember that evening when he had come and he was so confident कि I cannot say no to him. एक पॉकेट में से उन्होंने साइनिंग अमाउंट निकाला, एक पॉकेट में से उन्होंने वो लैब के जो एग्रीमेंट होता है वो निकाला, बोला तू साइन कर दे. तो अगर कोई वेल विशर नहीं होगा और बड़े प्यार नहीं होगा, इतना बड़ा स्टार चल के हमारे घर नहीं आते. दैट मीन्स उसके बच्चे इतने लकी है टू हैव हिम. एनीवे आई एम श्योर आगे के जनरेशन कुछ तो सीखेंगे देख के.
Maushami Chatterjee, you have a very interesting point you have made that, that was the nature of faith that that generation of actors perhaps had among each other. That, if someone like Dharmji was coming and telling you, "Bas sign kar do," you will go ahead and have display that faith in him and his judgment, and you would go ahead and sign. When you also said that he was very protective about you. Give us some anecdotes about this equation that you had with him.
Once I went some Muhurat, and my husband was out of station, and there is someone had come and requested me, "Okay, let's go." And that was Rani Mukherjee's mother. So I went ultimately with her, and it was not a very, what I could say, at first my atmosphere was not that up to the mark maybe. I was very feeling like a fish out of water. उसमें में धर्मजी आए. उस पिक्चर में धर्मजी थे. He just spotted me right away and said, "What the hell you are doing here?" So I just said I came with her. I was so nervous. Then he said, "Immediately you go home." "Where's Babu?" I said, "Babu out of station." So he told his relative, "Nandi, गाड़ी है, इनको बिठा के आओ गाड़ी में." I said to Dharmji, "I have a car." No, Nandi, तुम जाके देख के आओ. He really मुझे get out कर दिया उधर से. So I love his gesture. उस टाइम मुझे ऐसा लगा था जैसा मेरी बड़ी बेइज्जती होगी, but later on मुझे इतनी उनके ऊपर respect बढ़ा, बहुत I can't tell you this certain body on his brain. He always, even in a big party, he would say, "Don't stand here, go and stand with your husband." That man is high, with the drink, and he was coming towards you. So go from here. Go and stand there. He was like that.
Rajdeep, your question. Please go ahead.
Oh, Maushami ji, sorry,
Are at crematorium. When is the official statement likely from the family, and who will be releasing it?
It will, of course, be either Sunny Deol or Hema Malini who will be releasing the family statement. But from what we know, of course, they are right now busy with the last rite, and only after they are done with it would the family statement come. But we are seeing a rally of Bollywood actors who love Dharmendra over the years, gathering around to pay their last respect and, of course, bid him a goodbye. Salman Khan, who's always mentioned how he's so close to Dharmendra, and even the star has mentioned how Salman is almost like a son to him, and he sees a younger version of himself in Salman. He was one of the first Bollywood stars to be there at the cremation ground, and of course Amir Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Abhishek Bachchan, they've all arrived. Akshay Kumar was also present, and
The film fraternity, as we all miss Dharmendra, as he leaves for his heavenly abode, and we are left with a void in the industry and hearts of many millions who loved him, not just for his acting abilities, for the movies he did, but for the kind of a man he was, the human being he was. And all these people from his fraternity who were connected to him, who ever met him even once, remember him for that very reason, the human being that he was. But right now the news coming in is that Dharmbaji has left us, Dharmendra is not with us anymore, and there are many people who are sending in their condolences, whether it is from the film fraternity or from the political spectrum, as he also dabbled in that, and his family has also been part of the politics, the social aspect. So many remembering Dharmendra for the man he was. Right across the political spectrum, there are chief ministers from different states sending in their condolences. It does not matter which political party they are from, the love for Dharmendra is great in everyone's heart. Not just the film industry, not just the common man. Everyone today misses Dharmendra and the contributions he made. The president has also tweeted, So now let's listen to a few songs of his era that at that point of time stole everyone's heart and are remembered till today. We will be listening to them very soon. There are many songs that have been picturized on him. On your screens you see the visuals of joining us right now is Javed Akhtar. Thank you very much, Javed ji, for speaking with us. It's a great loss for the film industry and the nation.
True. That's very true. You know, there is a line, it has been repeated so often that it has lost its meaning. But believe you me, in this case, it is totally true and appropriate. An era has come to an end. We say it so often that it has lost its gravitas. But with Dharamji, it's true. With him, an era has come to an end. He was the last symbol of that era, where there were such actors, such directors. There was a particular way of making films and so on, which has all changed. He was the last memory and last proof of that time. There is no doubt about it. And I have been fortunate enough to be associated with him right from the beginning. When I came to film industry, I joined film industry as an assistant director who was getting perhaps 175 rupees per month. And I was an assistant in a film called Yaqeen, produced by Devendra Verma, directed by Bridge. And he was at the pinnacle of his career. Young, handsome, dashing, so very busy. You know, you are always good to people who are important, or celebrities, or people of some substance, or some status. That came to my mind was, how can a man look? However times you may have seen him. Every time he would enter a room or he will come out of his car, the first reaction will be spontaneous. It used to be, what a good-looking man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The longevity of a star is also dependent on his ability to adapt. And we have seen that with Dharamji, whether it is the romantic hero image, the socialist hero image, the He-Man image, and then later on the kind of roles he took on as a central character but may not be the hero.
That's the thing, that whatever kind of role he has done, I mean, look at Chupke Chupke, where it's a comedy film by Rishida. And you will never feel that ये जो है बहुत serious role करते होंगे, या he may have been an action hero. You feel that he is made for this role. So that was the, facility he had and his personality had, that he could do any role and look.
That were picturized on Dharamji, and you can see why they were the hits of their era. So those were some popular songs that were picturized on the late actor. But a few moments earlier, we spoke to the veteran actress and his co-star, Sharmila Tagore. Listen in.
He was very simple, with such a big heart, very big heart.
कोई ऐसा वाकया जो आप आज याद करना चाहें?
एक नहीं, काफी ऐसे वाकया है. I've done so many, 7 फिल्म कर चुकी हूँ मैं उनके साथ, और काफी आउटडोर भी कर चुकी हूँ. और आउटडोर में जब there's a crowd and there's a lot of
and he was one actor who was never afraid to experiment with roles. He's one of the few actors who've kind of played varied roles, be it romantic ones or comedy, and of course action. And of course his dialogues and dance moves have also kind of inspired a lot of generation of actors. Actors like Salman Khan and Ranveer Singh have always mentioned how they grew up watching Dharmendra on screen and kind of imbibed.
He's my neighbor in Mumbai. We live just about 50-60 feet from each other, but we never meet. And we have to travel all the way to Yorkshire to get to see him. What can I say about Dharamji that hasn't already been said, already been seen, already been heard? Apart from being such a versatile artist, the the most important and really touching quality about Dharamji is that he is the most wonderful friend and the most wonderful human you can ever come across. I want to share a very deep secret about Dharamji and myself. If it wasn't for Dharamji, I would never have been working with him in the film Sholay. It was he that recommended my name for the film Sholay, and it was because of his insistence that Mr. Ramesh Sippy took me in that film. I'm eternally grateful to you, Dharamji. Ladies and gentlemen, a standing ovation for this great human, Dharmendra.
दिल अच्छा है अच्छी है सूरत ममता की हो तुम कोई मूरत मासूम.
So the romantic couple, not just off the silver screen but of real life, as they cemented their coupleship, their jodi, as they used to say in the Hindi film industry, not just across the silver screen but in real life as well. Hema Malini and Dharmendra together, as you see on your screens right now, acted in many films together. And Dharamji is remembered for many films, not just action films. Many of us tend to, put him in that section, call him a He-Man and say that he was the action hero, the ultimate or the first action hero. But that is not just what Dharamji was. He was a man who acted in many films and was sort of an expert of almost any genre that you can talk about. And here's an excerpt from 2017 Aaj Tak Agenda, where India Today's Rajdeep Sardesai spoke to Dharmendra ji. Listen.
1960 में आपकी पहली पिक्चर आती है, अर्जुन हिंगोरानी वो पिक्चर बनाते हैं, लेकिन आप की बड़ी ब्रेक आती है, पहली बड़ी हिट होती है फूल और पत्थर. क्या ये उस पिक्चर के बाद क्या पहली बार आपको लगा यार मुझे भी जगह मिल सकती है इस हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में?
मुझे नहीं लगा, फिल्म ने बता दिया कि मुझे जगह मिल जाएगी. तो फिल्म खूब चली और लोगों ने चर्चे भी खूब हुए. तो उस फिल्म वो उस वक्त की शोले थी साहब. कुछ लोगों को इतनी पसंद आई बेपनाह. मैं अब खुद देखता हूँ, पहले तो मैं अपनी सबसे बड़ा क्रिटिक खुद हूँ. मैं इसको रीटेक कर लेते यार, इसको डब कर लेते, मैं अच्छा नहीं लग रहा हूँ. अब देखता हूँ तो लगता है यार मैं अच्छा था. तब नहीं लगता था मैं अपने आप को अच्छा. अब लगता है कि हाँ यार था, कुछ बात तो थी जो लोगों ने इतना पसंद किया मुझे.
पर आप बड़े हमेशा ये भी कहते हैं कि मैं तो एक्टर नहीं हूँ, मैं तो बस नेचुरल कुछ करके चला जाता हूँ.
मैंने इसको प्रोफेशन नहीं अपनी महबूबा समझा है.
Hi, here are the top headlines presented by Motorola. Power tussle intensifies in Karnataka Congress. DKS's group encamped in Delhi. Over 900 illegal structures demolished in Ahmedabad anti-encroachment drive. Srinagar freezes at minus 3.2 degrees. Records the coldest day of the season.
He's the only male leader who's kind of managed to tap into the Mahila vote. I've seen what Jayalalitha has. Yeah, and I've seen what Jayalalitha has done, right? Like, she created and carved this image. And the freebies that she gave out, mixers, grinders, scooters for young girls, carved that image very consciously of Amma. I feel that Nitish kind of has done the same thing, where created a protector image of sort for the women vote. And I know Rajdeep will say that 10,000 rupees made a difference. But I think that wasn't the only game changer as far as the women vote is concerned.
yes, my wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not a particularly religious family in either direction. In fact, when I met my wife, we were both, I would consider myself an agnostic or an atheist, and that's what I think she would have considered herself as well. You know, everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. So we decided to raise our kids Christian. Our two oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement. Do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that.
You are watching India Today.
Welcome back to India Today, and our focus is on the big news of the day, and that is actor Dharmendra passing away. Dharmendra ji was an icon of the Hindi film industry, and today he is no more, as the entire industry pays respect to him. Joining us right now from outside his home is India Today's Sana Farzeen. Sana, do tell us what is the mood there, and also the family apparently is now heading back from the cremation ground. Do tell us what's happening there.
Yes, from what we are hearing, the family, Hema Malini, Isha Deol and Sunny Deol's sons, they have left the cremation ground, but there are still no visuals of Sunny Deol or Bobby Deol. We are seeing cars driving in Dharmendra's house at the moment, and the family is said to actually have left the cremation ground. And now, because they are all home, we can all kind of expect the official statement from the family to come any time now. They have been very clear of wanting to keep this very private and very laying around the Deol family to pay their condolences to the family on this major emotional moment at now. Hema Malini and Isha Deol have already left the cremation ground. They were one of the first to actually arrive there at around 1:30. At 1 p.m. right here, at the ambulance had arrived to take the mortal remains to the cremation ground. It's a big loss for the family and, of course, the industry. We've been hearing his co-stars talk so fondly about him and reminiscing about their